time with Taurus being an earth energy as well, of really connecting with Mother Earth and connecting with ourselves, our inner essence. Virgo tends to be overly critical, focusing on the details. So there could be a sense of we need to let go of certain things. We need to let go of the aspect of certain things aren't coming out how we'd want them to. Maybe the intentions we made in the last new moon, they're not coming out as how they're supposed to. And especially with Virgo energy, we tend to envision how our vision is going to particularly come out. The end result doesn't come out, the details don't come out exactly as what you have envisioned. That doesn't mean that you're not enough, or that you're not a good manifester, or that you're not enough. There can be a sense with Virgo energy where we feel that we have to own up, or we have to prove ourselves to receive. We are enough, we are good enough, that there isn't a service that we need to do for others to receive love, because Virgo is a very servicing energy. It's very meticulous. It's also it could be a great time for rituals. Virgo energy is very much about beautiful rituals in your home, and just providing like a sacred ritual for just the everyday, in order to ground yourself into the Mother Earth energy, the Mother Essence. Once you connect to the earth, that you are good enough, because if you think about it, the earth, it doesn't have to prove its service in order to be of service. The earth is just, it exists, it is there, it provides, it doesn't ask, it shows up as it is, and it's enough as it is. But mushrooms are also about death. Mushrooms are about death. They're about things that are rotting, and mushrooms symbolize like things that are dead nourish the earth. So like everything is, even in death, there is still that connection. And we can see even with this card, as above, so below, the living and then underground. The full moon is about letting go, things dying. It's being open for new opportunities to come even in death. So mushrooms often symbolize decay because of fungus, because mushrooms are basically fungus, and fungus is deterioration, and deterioration is death. So it's through letting go that we're able to then create. And as I indicated with Virgo energy, rituals, this can be a very important time to connect with, to accumulate Mother Nature, or nature tools or artifacts you see out in nature, in order to create like a ritual aspect into your home, into your spiritual practice. Through the decay, there will come a birthing. Full moons are often about what you need to let go. Look at what needs to be let go in your home. Maybe what needs to be let go in your spiritual practice, letting us know that we need to touch base on our self-esteem, on our essence, on our inner selves, and not looking outward to our guides, but looking within and nourishing ourselves, not nourishing the outer world in order to nourish us, because we have to match what we want to envision, a new world or whatever you want, your new manifestation. In order to match to see what we want, the reality, we have to be that essence. But in reality, you have to accept yourself for who you are already, that you are good enough in order to manifest the world that you want, or the being that your future self that you want to be, or the reality that you want to be in. You have to first accept that you are good enough right now, with all your faults, with all your shadows. This is alchemy energy. In order to transmute or change energy into a new world, into a new being, into a new creation, in that transmutation, it has to die. There is a transformation, but often we forget that in that transformation, your old self has to die. The snake has to peel off its old skin and be able to let go of its old skin in order to really shed and have that glossy coat that it has. So this can be a time of movement, a time of transportation, a time of shifting energy, especially the transmute shadow card we got. So this is really aligning with the vision that you want and aligning your chariot, aligning your horses. In the traditional chariot card, there are actually 2 horses. So it's really aligning your whole self, every part of you, to your vision in order to really move forward. You're literally transmuting, and so this is shadow work, transmuting your shadow feelings, your shadow energy, all those bad feelings that come up and that we need to let go in this full moon in Taurus. It's shifting that energy through and things are going to come up from underneath the reflection of the full moon, and it's shifting that energy, transmuting it, moving through it, because even with a chariot, he's in the water energy. In order to let go of things and to get the new beginning that we're seeking, we need to be able to shift through our emotions, to transmute those dark emotions that we don't want to face and to move through them. These are actually connected from like one antenna, where you have to align both of your horses. You have to align, and we need to align all of ourselves, all of our being, in order to be able to go through the waters easily and not be swayed. This is an individual who has actually mastered moving through their shadow. This is someone who has mastered moving through their subconscious, and they're able to practice elevation through seeing something from a different perspective. The King of Wands tends to convey of passion, of creativity, of that fire energy, obviously, but as the King of Wands, he has cultivated a sense of calmness where he's able to see something from a different perspective. So we can see with these 2 cards, it's being able to see what's above, and in the Hangman position, you're able to then see what's underneath. So it looks upside down. As above, so below, waiting on something that you've wished upon, which we can see with the birthing a new age, birthing a new creation, creating something new. But in order to do that, we have to really move through the subconscious, because it is in the subconscious that it doesn't matter what we cultivate on the physical world if the subconscious doesn't match the physical world. So as above, so below, you really have to match what's in your inner to your outer, and that was what I was referring to, in that you are good enough. In order to really cultivate the energy of a new beginning, we have to first accept that we are good enough as we are, that there isn't anything new that we need to cultivate, and that we're good enough in our shadow aspect. And so this is what the full moon in Taurus for the collective is calling us to do, is to accept that we're able to create a beautiful world with the abilities that we already have, and that includes our shadow. So in our shadow, we still have an ability to transmute that energy, and that's about connecting to the alchemy energy, where you're really able to shift your shadow energy and cultivate it into something new. The King of Wands has to master being in his energy, in the water element. All the kings, no matter swords, cups, they have to master all the elements. I believe that can be interpreted as that's the emperor, and he's the cultivation of all the elements, because he has control of all the kings and queens of all the the Swords, Cups, Wands, Pentacles, but I get a sense that from this reading that in order for the King of Wands to really master the fire, the passion, and to control it, he has to be in this Hanged Man where he has to give himself a period in order to not be impulsive, because the reverse of the King of Wands is there's an impulsivity, there's a being reactive, and the reaction can come from understanding and being in that Hanged Man period where when all your shadows are coming up from the subconscious, you have to have the ability to take the time to reflect and not be triggered by it. And in order to do that, we have to really cultivate all ourselves, all our parts, and being intentional with where we're going, where we want to be. And we can see with the Three of Wands and the Chariot, this is really that in the Three of Wands, he's looking outward and he's waiting for his boat, or this is about opportunities coming in. This is about you've already made the wish fulfillment and you're waiting for what's coming on. And also Three of Wands with the Chariot, Three of Wands also is about travel. It's about opportunities overseas. For some individuals, their opportunities could be not in their country. This could be somewhere outside of their actual physical limits, and so not limiting yourself to just like your boundaries of like geographically where you are right now, but opportunities could actually be coming overseas by boat to you, and letting go of how these opportunities will come to you. The subconscious coming up, especially with the Page of Swords, he's often seen as, I've heard other tarot readers interpret him as the hero because his sword is larger than him and he kind of has this heroic, courageous bravery about him of even if the sword is bigger than him, he's willing to take on the role, take on the sword. There's things that are coming up because he's looking backwards. There are things that are going to be that we haven't mastered yet. You have the world at your disposal. Being intentional with your power, not just reacting to things coming up, but truly thinking about it, because you have all the opportunities and you can literally go anywhere. Just point to a place and you'll go there. Point to the thing you want and you'll get it. You're not limited by where you are locationally or geographically. So be intentional about what you are seeking and they will come to you in surprising ways. So it's not being limited. It's also not being limited by your mind. And this is where your mind might, in trying to match the subconscious to the conscious with the as above so below energy, the Page of Swords hasn't yet mastered. He's still looking back. So there's a part of you that's still clinging on to limiting beliefs, clinging on to an old self of being. And the birds overhead, I'm always getting with the Page of Swords, like this uncertainty, this cloudiness, or this like when birds are all around, this creates this like muddleness to a subject. Having a new perspective will actually lead to moving away from something. Being in your emotions, shifting through your emotions, being able to match the subconscious to the conscious in order to create that shift. So this doesn't have to be an actual physical shift, like you're actually moving away from something, but this could be a moving away from something subconsciously, moving away from something, having a different perspective, a different shift, shifting from the Three of Wands to the Two of Wands. You made the intention of it in the new moon, but now you're kind of like changing your mind, you're redirecting, you're this could be a time of reflecting to see if, and so you could be changing your mind, shifting, letting go of things moving away from things of the mind that you used to attach to, bringing in being more intentional of matching your subconscious to your conscious in order to cultivate your manifestation into reality. So there could be something that you were waiting on that you made an intention of in the past, and now you're rethinking it, and you might be going back to the Two of Wands to maybe create something else, and this could entail moving away from an intention that you made the new moon. And so is what you made the intention of in the last new moon, does that still resonate with you, or do you want to backtrack to the Two of Wands to point to another section of your world to manifest something differently? Page of Swords is about a very imaginative, creative, very intellectual, and so it's very experimental, because he hasn't yet mastered the sword, he hasn't yet mastered the mind, the intellect, so it's very explorative, it's very creative and experimental, and so there can be a sense of moving and back and forth until you've really figured out what you actually want. But that's why it's important to create with the Chariot, bringing your two horses together, being intentional that you're all coming together, that you're all going to the same place,